Fantasy stories are really bad at writing mystery. Because in truth, fantasy is just imagination. Strange creatures, magic systems, geological and historical elements that do not exist in the real world. All the things that make a story feel wondrous. But more often than not, fantasy stories don't tread upon mystery. For mystery is the unknown. It includes uncertainty and a sense of curiosity that triggers a question in the viewers: who, how, and why. All with the goal of reaching a satisfying resolution. Which begs the question: how does a series create a mystery in a fantasy setting, blending the mysterious with the fantastic? I don't personally know, but perhaps the story does. Lord of the Mysteries, a recent widely popular series, presents a perfect example of a fantasy story that does mystery really well. At first, it tries to hook you with this short explanation of its magical system, but in reality, all it does is just confuse you even more. After all, a mystery can be anything and everything. A system that is generally perceived as confusing, but also exciting. Potions that grant humans supernatural abilities, thus referring to them as beyonders. With 22 pathways and 9 sequences that are progressing downward, an evolution known as the Path of the Divine, giving you just enough information to be able to guess certain things, yet not have a fully detailed explanation of how it exactly works. And it doesn't just stop at that. This series continuously throws you into these mysteries without holding back. You didn't understand? Well, who cares? Now you just have something else to worry about. It does a fantastic job at mystifying events in order to perplex you. It showcases the events unfold through the lens of its very witty protagonist, Klen Moriti, formerly known as Zu Mingre. An average office worker with extremely terrible luck performs a luck-enhancing ritual, ends up waking up in the body of Klen Moriti, a history graduate. Now, just like you, Zu Mingre is plagued with confusion, seeing a gun and a bloody notebook while experiencing heavy pain from a gunshot wound on his head that is healing rapidly, by the way. Now you're like, what could have possibly led to this? But that's the thing. It's not going to just tell you. Wouldn't be a mystery if it did. Most mysteries start with a dead body. They tend to be more realistic and grounded, sprinkling clues here and there and everywhere. Some are of sound truth and some not as much, mainly being done to mislead you in a different direction, making you guess a wrong solution. A good example of a mystery story is Case Closed, also known as Detective Conan, a story that focuses on a young detective that tries to find the secret criminal organization that drugged his body, making him regress to a child, encountering new criminal cases, each one more mysterious than the other, with different methods of killing, different motivations. Some are done due to a betrayal seeking a revenge, while some are complete misunderstandings that led to a tragedy. Cases that are meant to confuse you and excite you. I've always been a fan of smart characters. There's just this pleasure in experiencing a story through the lens of a genius, a super intelligent, hyper-observant investigator who notices hidden clues and pieces it all together, laying down the motives of a criminal, how the crime was done, and concluding by pinning it on a culprit you didn't exactly expect, all while making perfect logical sense. You're watching a mystery happen and be solved. And just like other mystery stories, Lord of the Mysteries also starts with a dead body, or two to be specific. Walsh and Naiad, two former classmates of Glenn, have committed suicide under mysterious circumstances. But a dead body isn't enough to utilize a fantasy setting. Remember, it's not just a mystery, it's also fantastical. The so-called detectives have figured out that black divination was performed, or perhaps a beyonder was sacrificed. As a result, some kind of evil power descended. Now, what evil power is that? Don't worry about it. It's no secret that most stories are experienced with the hope of feeling something, an emotion that resonates with the story being told. And more often than not, the purpose of these stories is simple: to entertain. Glenn comes across a diary that belonged to the former Glenn, in which he wrote dates, events, details that transpired after finding an ancient notebook that belonged to the Antigonus family. The Black Emperor, the Tudor Empire, the summit of Hornicius mountain range. Basically things that you, I, and the protagonist don't exactly understand. But the most fascinating thing reading in this diary is
所有人都会死，包括我。
I feel like the story thrives on not knowing. The more I watch, hoping to understand something, only to end up questioning something entirely different. How did Zhu Minghui transmigrate using a ritual? What's the truth behind the Antigonus notebook? And how did Klen kill himself with a revolver without anyone noticing? They need to understand that these things aren't supposed to make sense or be understood. They're meant to be mysterious and explained later throughout the series. One thing I also loved was how we experience the story through the eyes of someone just as lost as we are. We don't know the rules, but neither does the main character. We're not solving the mystery alone. We're figuring it out together in the sleuth's corner. I mean, that's exactly what they're trying to do, because in a mystery, what's aimed for is to light a bulb in the viewer, a bulb known as curiosity. So what would possibly happen if Glenn was to reenact the ritual that made him transmigrate? A divine realm would be made. Now how that even happened is a mystery of its own. A realm with a gray fog that could materialize anything he desires, summoning people from all over the world in a second. A gathering later being known as the Tarot Club, a setting in which he bluffs that he's some kind of god known as the Fool. I really don't know why I was so drawn to this series. What could it have possibly done to fascinate me so deeply, even when I barely understood a thing? Perhaps my compass is curiosity. Or perhaps it was this absolutely pretty lady that pulled me in. Dali Simon, a sequence A beyonder of the Death Pathway, also known as the Corpse Collector Pathway. She dives into Cohen's memories to interrogate him about the two victims and figure out how exactly he's tied to their so-called suicides. But her efforts led to nothing. Cohen's memories have been shattered by a mysterious force. So instead, they give him a choice to join them and become a Beyonder. Funny, right? Mysterious force, mysterious gray fog, mysterious divine realm, mysterious luck ritual. Then again, how do you contain a mystery when it's made out of fantasy? Because fantasy opens so many doors, a world with infinite possibilities. To craft a good mystery here, you need control. Precise magic system that ensures no easy answers, with structure and constraints making the magic feel earned, through which mystery becomes the lens that we use to explore the unknown. Something Lord of the Mysteries executes perfectly. It uses mystery as the structural backbone of its narrative, while fantasy breathes life into it with stunning aesthetics. So of course I liked it. As an isekai connoisseur, I've seen my fair share of complete dumpster shit isekai. And at this point, whenever a new isekai drops, I don't hold out much hope. Ironic, right? How it's a genre built on the idea of new worlds, yet somehow we keep getting the same recycled settings. That same medieval town, the same bland overpowered protagonists, same uninspired harms, that same Konosuba world building that is consistently being used in every isekai story. So when something like Lord of the Mysteries shows up, it grabs my attention quick. Not just a spark of interest, I mean full chest thumping, hands shaking, cheeks blushing, levels of fascination. Like a really pretty lady making eye contact and flirting. It's mysterious, it's stylish, and above all, it's different. One of my favorite parts so far is the Tarot Club gatherings. They make you feel like you're part of something deeper than just another fantasy world. And honestly, they're just fun to witness. I'm not ignoring that gorgeous animation. I've seen stories I love get butchered by bad animation. But Lord of the Mysteries, it flexes with the smallest things and breathes life into its world with such richness and depth. Every frame feels lived in, like there's real history behind every corner. The structure, the atmosphere, it's not just well crafted, it's really pretty in the most haunting magnetic way ever. Sure, it's still early, only a few episodes are out. Things could still go downhill, but if the story is anything like the world is building with that much intrigue promised, then I'm sitting back and expecting greatness. I can't tell when was the last time I've enjoyed a good, fantastical mystery story. Lord of the Mysteries isn't just good, it's cinematic, making use of two great genres, one that represents logic, while the other is wonder. And when paired together, you get the best of both worlds, resulting in a world that's truly fantastic.